looking at this map again, because like I said, I ain't dissected that map in a minute. The last time I did it, it was just Manhattan. Because somebody was saying that you had to come to Manhattan from Harlem on the bridge. And I'm like, huh? So I ended up going to the map about that. Manhattan is an island, right? Staten Island to the south, right? The harbor, New York Harbor, Long Island with Queens and Brooklyn. North of Queens, cross that stretch, East River, I think, the Bronx, right? So I couldn't understand why they said you had to go across the bridge into Manhattan. They did say Manhattan is an island, but they were saying, I'm from Harlem, you gotta go across the bridge to get into Manhattan. I'm like, huh? I don't understand it. Unless, if you're from there, if you know, maybe they got police around the borders of Harlem. So if you're trying to go right into Manhattan out of Harlem, you might get pulled over. So in order to not be profiled by the police, you gotta leave probably some type of thoroughfare to the bridge, off the island, then come back on the island and go to Manhattan then, and maybe it's less profile. I don't know why they said that. But looking at it geographically on the map, Harlem sits on the island of Manhattan. Central Park, Upper Manhattan, all that. Go up into the north area, right? You got the creek, right? The Spouting Devil Creek, that's the English. The Dutch is something. Spiting Titan, some shit, right? And then you got Spiting Devil Creek, Hudson River to the west, Harlem River that turns into East River, right? It's an island, Long Island. I hadn't looked at that map really for that purpose ever. Only time I really looked at the map was just for Queens and Jersey, up in that area. Really dissected the map, looking at Boulevard Street, all that kind of stuff there. So that's why niggas used to always say Long Island Queen, Long Island Queen. I hear him say that, I wouldn't ask no questions and all that. But Long Island, but then to the west, you got Queensboro, and you got Brooklyn. Them two boroughs. You got the Bronx, that's the third. Manhattan is the fourth. Staten Island is the fifth. 5 boroughs. I keep forgetting whether it's 5 or 7. We say 5 holes in your head, blase squaze, building with 5%ers and all that. It's a lot of time where I got a lot of information from. I didn't go cross-reference and go to the maps. It's the best place to go to the map. I didn't go to the map, right, until recently. Only because I'm thinking about, in my head, like, wait a minute. I said, let me see. Went to the map, expecting, when I see Manhattan, I'm expecting Harlem to be across one of these waterways, right? And since they said that, I'm even looking to the west of Hudson River. The Hudson, yeah. I'm saying that right? The Hudson. On the west border is the west side. Harlem River, coming out that creek. Devil Spout Creek, Hudson, Harlem, then East River. As you go down to the south. So I'm looking, and I went to Manhattan for something, and I look, and I see it. To me personally, I ain't never been 10 toes down in New York. I went to Washington, D.C. The Million Family March, I think that was. Not the Million Man March. Southern affiliate, Locking It Down Records. We went with Wise God Born Supreme and Dexter Wilson. Me, Jitaloso, Young Dirty Jitaloso, Young Drifter, Problem 13. I think the God Kuwait went too. We saw Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, right there where we was at. Jump out of the limo, everybody taking pictures. We over there, Problem 13 was in a cipher with some 5%ers. So I'm off to the side, just watching them, observing them. Because, you know, he tend to kind of like take over a cipher because he can build like further into the past beyond Clarence 17X. So even though he in there with Supreme Mathematics, Supreme Alphabet, today's mathematics and all that, when he started getting the guard and all that building, right? But I think I talked about that earlier, about can you build on that? I think I mentioned that. So when you say you God, a lot of times before somebody even asks you, can you build on that, you just start building. So he went up to Clarence, he went to Supreme Mathematics, Supreme Alphabet, today's math. He dropped some like Supreme Wisdom type of, actual facts type of, Clarence X17, and then back up to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fard Muhammad type of conversation you get out of the nation. So they was like nodding, they was head nodding heavily. Like everybody in there like, yeah, this, yeah. It was like in that. But everybody else, a lot of people had something to say, other people had something to say. We was in DC, right? Me, the God Kuwait, ain't have much to say, but he didn't really want to build. Why, I don't know. That was Problem 13, aggressively pursued that. You know, we just chilling over there while we waiting on them to speak, the speakers to speak and all that. Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston pulled up. They jumped out. Everybody ran over there. So we over there chilling, right? Cell phone cams wasn't all that big back then. I think we were back in Nokia days and stuff, like the little flip come up. There ain't too much cell phone cam going on. So that's what it was. So now I'm dissecting the map, you know, looking for this and that over there. My first orientation, because I asked people 10 toes down in Atlanta, in Miami, right, that were from the area, New York or tri-state area, nobody answered my question. So finally KRS-One come out, he came out dissing MC Shane, right? But he started building on the origin of hip hop. So nobody said anything to the contrary for years in my ear. So I'm thinking Krishna is giving it up. So many moons down the line, right? We talking about like very recent. I come across Chuck D's documentary from Public Enemy, Chuck D. He has a documentary from all 5 boroughs, several people who came out like the same summer Disco Mario from Bronxdale area. Soundview and all that over there with Michael Wayne TV. I was telling you about Michael Wayne TV, right? Where I met older Black Spade, rest in peace, Sunshine, Charlie Rock, B-Boy Charlie Rock, one of the first B-Boys ever, hip-hop B-Boys ever to do all that. They used to call him the flow mopper and all that kind of stuff. And he say he went on into the freak dance came out the wild. You stay on your feet, get a girl, and you be over there freak, y'all. So he kind of moved away from B-boying when he graduated from high school, went on to get college degrees and all that. And he looked around and young guys doing what they did way back. That's Charlie Rock's version, right? So only so many people whose name I can remember. Michael Wayne interviewed a lot of people. So now, Chuck D's documentary, I'm gonna try to go find that soon. Next time I'm in cyberspace messing around with different apps and whatnot, I'm gonna try to go find Chuck D's documentary soon. My phone got stolen where I had a lot of stuff on my playlist, saved playlist. So I'm starting from scratch on my playlist, all my discographies, songs, Swamp Funk DJs, all that's gone. I'm starting back over from scratch, right? So anyway, I could have rocked the party anywhere in the world with that discography, man. But anyway, with those playlists, I had a lot of different music genre. I separate them by the genre, right? Man, I could have, man, hook up with that computer stuff, all that new stuff they got today, new age. They got the new thing computerized about this big around, two of them. Sit right here, you can scratch with it, but it's computerized. You type in the song and stuff, all that kind of stuff. Scrap Hound and Scarecrow, Dark Side DJ, affiliated with Dark Side DJs in Miami, right? They got stuff like that. I see them do parties and stuff like that. Boss Man, Jet Ski Party, Boss Man Entertainment, they got that. You can actually have the scratch effect and all. But it helps you, because back in the day, you used to have to run to the crates. You got a U-Haul, a Ryder truck or something like that full of milk crates with phonographs in them. Phonographs like this big. Then you got the 45. So you got to go through that and find what you want. You pick it up, slant it like that so it don't fall back and get lost. Pull it out, run over there, put the plate on the 1200. Find your little spot, whatever you want to do, and you mix it in. That's how we used to, the mixologists used to mix or backspin the same record. Back to back, I was talking about earlier, backspin. Took a good time. That's what I was talking about. Did you a good time? That right there, backspin. And to keep a vibe. Because I've been to a lot of parties. And a lot of DJs is garbage. A lot of them really be trying. But sometimes, one block party I went to, DJ Icy Ice, DJ Mac, y'all know him as Mac 10 of Broken English, and Miami Mac of Southern Philly, Club 56, Dance Motherfucker, Miami Mac. Back in the day, he was DJ Mac. They was with Soul Messiah. He the top president or whatever of the Atlanta chapter of the Zulu Nation. So through them, I got to the party. It was a house party, block party, house party like setup. It was outside. That's the rawest party I've ever been to in my life. They had no less than 3, I think it was 4 or 5. Definitely no less than 3 DJs. Each one particular DJ had 2 turntables that was audible to all the people. All the party goers could hear every little thing, right? Each one got their own 2 records they spinning, nobody out of beat, nobody out of sync. You can, if you want to dance, we had some B-boys out there, 2 in particular. I went over there by them, right? They doing what became my warm-up shuffle. Real low to the ground. I got bad back and bad knees now. But they real low to the ground like this, shuffling. Their feet doing this. And every now and then they come up. But they staying low the whole while. Bald head kind of cocked, these dark skinned 2 of them. I'm over there checking them out. When I got to them, they looked very, very serious in the face. So I ain't try to give them no conversation. I had the impression they were about to go on. They were about to display some stuff, so they're probably trying to get their mind right, whatever. So I'm just looking. Mac had called me over there to the DJ booth. Mac was like, when I got up on him, Mac was like, hey man, don't mess with them, man. They serious, though. They serious. I was saying, because back then, in the 80s, you had a lot of underground niggas who was serious about the elements, 5, something like that, elements of hip hop. You got the graffiti. I'm gonna throw the fashion in there. You got the graffiti, right? The DJing, I threw fashion in there. The B-boy, the MC. If I take the fashion out, it's another element missing. I forget what that is. It's 5 elements a lot of times they say hip hop. But back then, most times I met niggas who was really good at something they did. A lot of times it was like bitter, and it was hard for them to hide it in their physiology. The males, even some of the females were hard as F. Rakia them from New Jersey, her little sister, I used to talk to her little sister. Right? It was hard as F, hard as nails, like a lot like Sparky D's predisposition when she came out. Like really, she was one of the hardest females back then, Sparky D, right? like really hard, like fight a male, and probably got a switchblade, probably got 25, 32, stuff like 45 on them, that kind of hard. Had like 17, 20 people on your head just like this, hard. So, me being how I am, most of my friends from up there back then, they kind of like, it was my lighthearted side is how we got like this. I'm not trying to do it, I'm just being myself. Before you know it, like a lot of people in Decatur, Atlanta, Miami, they laughing at something I said or da-da-da-da-da. It always go toward like, you know, we finna go I don't just eat just anywhere from anybody. So if it's somebody's house, I'm gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? You know, ain't no such and such, ain't no pork, ain't no lard. And that'll spark a whole conversation. And a lot of times that's how the friendship got more in depth, because many people they respect from up north, that's exactly how they are. I got my southern accent once they got to know me. The ones who got to know me personally, because back then, like I mentioned before, Mac was trying to break in the industry. So-called hip-hop, rap, whatever. And he kept coming across, and I remember that, it was a lot of closed-minded people from the tri-state area. They thought people from the South was dumb, was slow, backwards, they didn't like their ways. They felt like they was like, more like Willie Lynch, like type of divisive and this, that, that, just everything negative stereotype you could put on a person. And also they didn't like to bring them into their circles, because that's what, you know, it's like a family circle. Even though these guys from different boroughs and blah, 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 and they just meeting up, it's like there was very close territorial about the New York culture. The culture of, you know, just opening up and talking to another person that knows. Like, if you gonna tell the truth, I'm from such and such, I'm from the bush, flat bush. A lot of times they'll G-check each other too. If they ain't know the person, they done been through that. Yeah, where from? Right? So, what locked us out, finally, way down the line in like 96, I sat down with an MPC book, the manual that comes with it. That shit might have been Chinese, Korean. I mean, their shit, not English, word, alphabet, no. That shit might have been Chinese, Korean, some alien shit. I'm reading, I read on the college level in the 5th grade, mind you. I ain't no dummy. At this point, I should have been about like graduated college if I did 4 years straight. I'm effed up. Like the first paragraph, I can't read a paragraph or sentences with understanding this is the manual to the MPC. So it's like, usually when you buy an item, a car or something, the best way to learn about it is from a mechanic that works with that type of car, that year, particular year, and the manual. No dice. You gotta go to somebody that knows. So now, hip hop is different from a lot of other stuff. The rest of the guys, the funk, the R&B and all that, they was doing live bands and maybe somebody on the keyboard kind of thing. They don't really need that. They got a drummer. They don't do breakbeat. They either do a cover, and they know that probably before they got in high school. And they know music, they took music, they know how to hear sheet music. They hear sheet music. What they hear, they can call out what they hear, and that's a C flat, that's a da-da-da-da-da. That's a bridge, that's a this, that's a that. So the R&B and the musician crowd, they didn't need what a lot of hip hoppers need, especially us who didn't go to music class, we didn't pick up an instrument, we don't read sheet music, but we got rhythm, we can spit game, poetry to the beat, break it down in measures and bars and come up with hooks and stuff. We quick like that, we swift like that. Some of us didn't do music, a lot of us did. Rakim took a music class, Pimp C took music. He was like a virtuoso before he left high school. Pimp C was bad, Chad Butler was bad, Bun B will tell you about it now, right? So I'm one of the ones, I took music classes, but I didn't specialize in any particular instrument. I messed around coming up, cello, clarinet, you know, all the different stuff, xylophone, all that. I got an ear. I know what's hot and what's not. I know even the best of MCs out there back in the day and up until now, I would take off their album what was the best for certain situations. You know, I was good at that. No, I know shit when it's hot, put it like that. Right? So, and shit when it's garbage. I know it's mediocre so-so. So when I can write. I'm a writer, I can read, I can spell well, I can speak well. So when I got into the thing of writing raps, it was one element that I didn't have right away, which was just go. I tried. So this way back, like definitely UTFO Roxanne. Definitely around that time. I'm writing, but I used to call them shorts. I'm writing words, especially when Mac started. This is all about this part here. Mac had to find out how in the hell they making this music. Mac's a musician, music class, sheet music. But how you do rap? Ain't no band shit. So you had to learn 808, SB or SP12, something like that. 808, MPC. You had to learn that stuff. And also it was certain things like 808 will come with certain sounds the MP might not come with, but you can load it on that and da-da-da. It's technical shit, right? Easy part is amp, mixer, equalizer, MIDI in, MIDI out. That's easy. I can set it up, right? 2 turntables, mixer, boom. I mess with all that, pulling them chords, boo, boo, boo. I want this to go here, boom. But now when it come down to that drum pattern machine, all I can do is when somebody got a pattern up there, they working on something, I come up there, psst, boom, boom, boom. I fuck around and find out what's up there already, for you know what, I'm up there. I can do that. That's it. They exploited that greatly, grossly exploited that when they found out how good I can rap down the line with Southern Affiliate, even really before that. But with Southern Affiliate, why that's such a strong point. It's to the point, Crespo man want to sue. He's right. I ain't gonna say he's wrong, but I got a lot of people to sue. And in my estimation, what the 11th Judicial Circuit Court did to me was prior to, it was ongoing, it's up until this point, and it costed me more money than even locking it down. Locking it down didn't take my right to carry a firearm legally and lawfully, to conceal one legally and lawfully. In certain states within the so-called United States, in the mode of conveyance, going across lines of demarcation out of one state into another, one county into another, you, like Minister Rasul, God may Allah be pleased with right life service, the son of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said one time from the rostrum, you need to call these state governors and let them know you coming and ask for permission to carry your registered firearm. So as a person with felonies on the record, you got to get past that first, right? My felonies on the record are different from felonious capers where somebody got caught, right? Not to get into status and identity and all that. We just doing adjudication. You got caught, actually, might have been a felon already. Actually, that's different. You talking about somebody never been a felon, legally or lawfully. Those were railroad kangaroo court cases where they cheated and lied. They stole that from me. So to just get expunged, that's almost like covering up what they did. I need to fix that so that in the system, anytime an officer runs my state ID or whatever they get, my TWIC card, my Port of Miami card, my name come back, all that mess shouldn't come back. That puts me in a situation right there. Fuck the courtroom. That police officer might, cause his once he get my shit and run my shit and pull me over and all this, anything could happen to make him feel like, well, you know what? I'm gonna get this one first. Because whatever they got going on, it might be a random something, somebody just so happened, but he knows because he sees he sees battery on a Leo. He sees robber. He sees assault with an unlawful exhibition of a weapon. Automatically, suited and booted, or somebody that came up as a plainclothes detective but came to assist, automatically, player. First of all, they want that to sit. Because it might be somebody still on a 911 call or not quite yet to enter into the system something I just did. They're gonna take their time with me. Running that tag, running my name, blah, blah. This is a very serious situation. And all the 52s right now, if I wanna see these streets under my name, my government name, right? Seeing my family, going to my grandma's house. I got 2 of them, right? Aunts, uncles, all that, neighbors. You know, first loves and second and third loves from when I go into some of them still, some of the real estate still around. I like to ride by and look at the house sometime. I want to get out and knock on the door. I won't call or nothing. I ride by, look at the house. That's where the most memories come out the hood. I can't do nothing no more. All my networking, that little business card, I got something right here. I ain't finna take time to pull it out. All that network, all that goes down the tube. If I can even get away to be a fugitive, probably not. Especially today, in today's world, probably not. A lot of times when they find out who they want, they don't last but so long. We looking at all these capers. They getting a lot of nuts nowadays, right? So you got all these capers, jewelry store heists. If anybody follow my Instagram, they see me. New stuff, fresh stuff, I throw it up there. It's a trial. The trial is kind of new for certain officers who did that shooting. Them 2 guys who had not too long got out of prison, hijacked the UPS truck, Miramar Parkway, kind of like where the high-speed chase ended, and all the old crazy hot-head officers came, bop, 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 bop. They killed the 2 alleged robbers, the UPS driver, and they killed an innocent by driver. He wasn't standing, he was driving, I think he was. They killed him too. So, in today's world, quite unlikely that I will be a fugitive for any time period. Money don't really help you. Passport, the ability to catch a plane. A lot of planes going down anyway, but boats capsizing, flipping over. It's a very, very, very dangerous times that we living in for travel when it comes to going outside of a state or a country, which I would have to try to get somewhere if I want to stay gone away from the incarceration, what I mean, out of the jurisdiction. You gotta go somewhere with no extradition law. They can't force them to extradite you back to that county or whatever where they want to try you. But why should I go through all that as if when I do not have a felony on the record, for the record, that I actually committed? I'm actually a non-felon. I'm 52 years old, born in 73, went through all that black on black crime, what they call that? They used to call that when the black male, endangered species, black male was the most likely to die. They'll say they had a commercial come on tonight. You know, do you know where your child is? Blah, blah, blah. Black male is more likely to die today, especially come to Friday, Saturday, right? Holidays, Martin Luther King holiday, stuff like that, right? With a lot of violence, an uptick in violence, right? So I've been through all that, right? The war on crime, tough on crime, war on drugs, starting around, was it Hoover? No, Lyndon B. Johnson, I think he sat down and talked about it, but Nixon, definitely. Ford, Agnew, them, Then we go get into Carter, Reagan, Bush. I don't think I missed nobody. Right? Them the main one. I don't know about JFK. We talking about war on drugs, maybe JFK. Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, Nixon, Agnew, Ford, because I keep saying it because Agnew was on the administration. And when they didn't impeach Nixon. He like resigned to avoid being impeached. Watergate scandal. So Agnew still up there. Before, I think it's Gerald Ford, somebody like that come in. And then we're gonna have Carter, Reagan, Bush. I don't think I missed nobody. Carter, Reagan, Bush Sr. And I think Clinton, then Bush Jr. Some of them probably had more than one term, right? And it don't even seem like it, but then I think then Obama, Michelle and Barack. I don't think I missed nobody. So this the war on drugs era. So I witnessed the times, even though when we was coming up, the so-called black man and brown, so-called black and brown, we still been racially profiled and most likely be arrested last hired, first fired, but it was nothing like it got to be in the 80s when they started coming out with the bulletproof vests and the armor tank, or whatever they was doing, and they was always saying, well, we are outgunned, the criminals have bigger guns. Come to find out, the CIA and all them really was furnishing criminals with those guns, and also Freeway Rick Ross. Check out the real Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, California, right, who was tied to the Sandinista, Nicaragua, Iran-Contra scandal, Oliver North, Ronald Reagan, that little thing, right? Arms dealing, weapons dealing, crack cocaine dealing. This we talking about government dealing. Matter of fact, they said it was to finance some of these military things. So you admit it's good to sell a little drugs because you need a gun, you need a little money for supplies. But Freeway Rick Ross and countless many other black, brown, poor white, and whatever, non-connected and poor white, whatever, had to go to prison away from their families. We've been having children as 12, 13, 14, 15. Just look at this, just go back and research your family tree. Kill two birds with one stone. Research your own family tree. And you're gonna find out great-great-great-great-grandmama was between 12 and 17 a lot of times with her first child. And a lot of them put out about 9, 15, 17 children. Because as people who work the land, air, water, sea, and you lord over an estate that is yours, right? A portion of a larger estate that's also yours, because you got clans and tribes. But you have something in your name, right? Your family estate. You got livestock, you got agriculture, farm stuff, growing out the land and whatnot, forestry, whatnot. So you need more people related to you. But now your brother, your sisters and brothers, they went out to become duke of this, duchess, and this viscounts. We getting big swaths of land because someone is always passing on, transitioning on, and they bequeath something that they got on lock to somebody in the family. And they were into the stars, birth sign, how you get into tarot, rota. And they talk about all that. When they talk about the story of baby Jesus, the three magi, they were looking up there. They weren't looking around here, looking between somebody's leg, patting nobody on the belly. They were looking up here. Right? A child is born. Baby Yahshua, Emmanuel. This is the name of him, Emmanuel. Right? That has a lot to do with your predisposition, which you're predisposed to be, to incline to do well without much effort. And a lot of times they chose us to do certain tasks because we were fit for that, right? So we had a lot of children. A lot of times man might have more than one. A woman, they might dissolve that marriage, she get another marriage. She might have a lover or something, get pregnant by that, might get raped, whatever. So these children tied to the umbilical cord takes it to the womb. The mother, the ummi, ummat, motherhood, matriarchy, ummat, M-A-T, matriarchy, M-A-T, ... right? The womb, this mother's baby, for sure, it's connected to this woman. She just gave live birth. Okay, look at the baby. Look at it. Look for a birth mark. Look for certain predispositions right here after birth, even in here. Some of them kick a lot. Some of them spin a lot. And So as the child grows, it's less likely that somebody that looks just like that child can impersonate that child. Because culture freedom, they're being inculcated with culture as they come up. No one knows everything this child has experienced by way of he met this aunt, he met this third cousin, this person gave him a certain gift, and All this stuff is in this child's head. I, as an impersonator, cannot come up and just sneak into the castle, tie him up, human traffic him out of there, lay in the bed, wake up, and I'm gonna be him for the rest of my life. A prince. It ain't that easy. We actually bred and raised our children. We didn't have the government actors intervening, human trafficking, locking up the parents, calling them unfit parents, taking them to child protective custody and all that, and human trafficking them off into their network of prostitution and whatnot, and slavery of children, right? And so you can't compete. They come up with child labor laws to slow it down at home. But when they get the child away from you, the first thing they do a lot of time, if they don't actually butcher the child for vampires and pedivores and pedophiles, right? They will actually sell them sexually to one who's a pedophile who just want to have sex and this and that. And they're very shrewd, where they will have their child been raised like a nanny or something, training them up to do something around the castle or the mansion or whatever, so they end up being a butler or a gardener or something like that, working for the estate, not knowing anything other than being that. And wholeheartedly, what they call the Stockholm Syndrome, wholeheartedly doing, they ain't trying to find out where they don't know where they come from. They ain't worrying about it, because why? Outside of these plush homes and offices and things like that is blight. Engineered poverty, engineered drought and blight. They don't want to have nothing to do with that. They don't have a care in the world. They don't have a sense of moral and amoral in the areas where they are being, quote unquote, amoral according to the Bible. Because they're raised in a circle where they saw this type of stuff going on with other children their age. They shuffle them around. So they never know when the ones who got harvested and had to lose their life, their spirit and soul, they don't know. They met so many people and seen so many people growing up. You know, all of us are like that. We didn't try to keep up with everybody we went to school, elementary school with, and in the nursery and all that. They somewhere out here will see you when I see you. So what they do know though, is when they in that Maybach or whatever, that limbo, that nice Buick or whatever, they don't want to ride in that plucker, in that beat up old jalopy. They riding past the shacks and whatnot. They know they don't want to live like that. They roll up into an estate. They already got a job. They got many jobs they can do if they were to move out, because some of them will allow the person to actually grow up and go out into the world and be something, not knowing that actually they were human trafficked as an infant, right? Newborn, infant, toddler, right? Whitney Webb says the Epstein files would never come out. It's too many people who are in a position of power who will be incriminated deeply from the exposure of the Epstein files. Now, getting back to getting in the industry. Mac devised a plan to get these guys to just teach them how to work the MP, how to work the SB12, how to work the 808, that's that. Because he wanted to make some music. Actually, he's a Miami DJ, Miami rapper. But hip hop, Miami, we used to take phonograph, put them on 1200s or whatever. We got walls, I mean literally like Great Wall of China like wall of speakers. Bass in your face. Boom, shake the ground. It was stories, when that first got popular, it was stories of good china falling out the cabinet. Bang to the floor. Tiffany like type of stuff. Bang jealousy windows that rock out this way to the outside at a slant. And you close them like this and they go vertical, but they slant out. And it's a pane here, and those are jealousy. You in the side, winding them out, winding them back up. Crack, the pane, about that long, depending on how big the window is. Crack, clink, jealousy windows. Miami bass. Sometimes in large areas where you get the thumbs up from most of the residents, you still got some that's like this, but it's not enough. In the neighborhood committee meetings and stuff, the projects and the lower income housing, whatnot. In my particular area, in all actuality, I'm born in 73, my brother's 62. They weren't living there. They were there for X amount of time by the time I was born in 73. My father had not long gotten that house. That's 561 Northwest 53rd Street, 5th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33127. That was an upper middle class neighborhood. In Miami, I think 12th Ave separated anything coming from the Bay and Biscayne on up to 12th. I think that was mostly predominantly white. Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, white, albino. West of 12th, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was black. Segregation-like type of thing. Remember I said in just the recent post, a lot of us didn't do South Beach, we were still bitter, because we was raised by people older than us. This culture we got, people were actually older than us, a lot older. Like I said, my older brother's 11 years older than me. So when I'm 2, he's a man already. He's 13. He been a man, right? So they remember. My brother born in like 62. So they remember. They was dressed like the Little Rascals. When you look at our pictures, they look like the Little Rascals, like Stymie and Buckwheat with the hats and the bow tie or the tie and the button-up shirt with a vest on or something, like maybe have a 3-piece overbreast, shoes, a hard shoe. That they look like Little Rascals, right? An older cartoon, Little Orphan Andy kind of type of look on the picture. It's just some of them in color. The first color, they would kind of touch them up and fix them up. They would let them be like beigeish, creamish, brownish light. Right? Light brown, beige, and cream like color is what you would get, and some kind of blackish. The old black and white coming in from black and white to color pictures. Right? Then you got into Fuji and all that, all the different Fox photo and all that, start having full color. So a lot of them, our OGs, when it came down to war on drugs and tough on crime, who we looking at to learn how to outsmart them to be what we call a G in G code, by the time we actually come out the porch and start flogging and faking and really put in some work, we got that from older people who remembered how they did on South Beach. Muhammad Ali couldn't even go over there unless he had a fight or something. He was working. That's why he was Hampton houses, stuff like that sometimes, when he just hear the Parlay, Sir John Hotel, Overtown, blah, 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 right? Dinah Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, all these type of people. I just said him. Lola Falana and all them, they come to Miami, right? They doing what I want to say the beaches we did predominantly so-called black. I want to say, but I don't want to misquote nothing. I'm serious about that part. So anyway, South Beach was one of the last places I went, because that's who was raising me, them G's, my daddy age, my granddaddy age, and my older brother's age. I ain't too much, that's nobody my age and younger. Far as I get next door, Roosevelt Orange Jr., Calvin, Steve, Mike. And I think Steve and Mike even older than me. Me and Calvin like the same age. The Twitty brothers, right? Norris Baby Boy Walker. That's it. And my brothers, my mother's children, my siblings, that's it. Mario, Haitian Mario come over. You know, Brother Ron, he older, he'll come over. Brother Benny, Mr. Meshack across the street. These are the only people I'm really vibing with for a long time on my block. Ain't too many people. Walt Solomo them came. Kenny, Forehead Tony, Gorilla Tech, they came up to my block before I started going to their block. Where I met Ganu, people like that. James O, Joe Piskey, people like that. Earth Tenor, Gene Tenor, when I went down there to the park, right? ADE house in the park. Cause Baby Boy and ADE was real tight from like this. That was about the only house I eat out of. They know when I get there. I don't eat no pork, no lard, no pork byproduct. Anything other than that, just tell me what it is, boom, boom. I was always serious about that. They laugh, they always laugh, right? That's how that was. So, Mac trying to break in the industry. He didn't like, that's what I was talking about that for. He didn't like Miami DJ style as much as he liked the New York shit. And we was late. Luke Skywalker, Luke Records ain't here yet. So while he working on that, Luke Records come out. First, Luke snatched 2 Live Crew, Amazing V in them. I think Mr. Mix was down. He worked that first. I think it was already out too. He started working that. He picked up in Miami. The Revelation. 1, 2, that. You don't stop. That right there. Come closer, I can be quiet. They probably gonna tell me to move in a minute because of just being loud and shit. Right? Now they wanna tell me I can't do none of this shit. So anyway, that right there. Meantime, if you notice me for Swamp Phone DJs, I'm always going back to them days, before Luke Records days, right? The old techno/rap. You know, ultimate, I'm always going back to that. Cause that's where it started when I started coming and Baby Boy started actually getting on a jamming himself, making his name as a Miami style DJ, right? Round up that time period. That's all we had before Mantronics came. Mantronics and Fresh hit the word before they even came out. Because I remember the procession, and the reason why I do this a lot of times, psychologically, a lot of this conversation, OG conversation, that's what was hot, and that what had just came out. So you see sights, you remember better, more vivid. It's one of the triggers to your brain to remember certain things. You might conch salad, something in physical 3D, conch salad, conch fritters, something, mango pickle, not pickle, vinegar, salt and pepper, mango, something, the first time you ever had that yourself, that you can remember. Past, because you know, a lot of us grew up on it like that, but we don't remember when we was this big. But by the time we get 2, 3, 4, 5, that's when we can still remember, we can see it in our mind. So these are time periods when you hearing a lot of jive. That's very important, especially because of a lot of our parents, they had become institutionalized society and all this. Frederick T. Gates, John D. Rockefeller School System, prison of war camp, the church, where the pastor, whatever was placed there, the overseer of the captive, slave now made forced labor, captive, right? That's most of us, most of us black, some type of Christian. If you Muslim, you started as a Christian. If you Muslim, your parents started as a Christian, or your grandparents, or your great-grandparents. Because most of that is coming out of plantation. Forced labor plantation at that, because you had different type of laborers on the plantation. Indentured servant, you had this, they taught us this in high school, in elementary. You had quote-unquote blacks who were free and not slaves. Those are the Moors we talk about. Some people don't like that term. Those are the Indian we talk about. Some people don't like the term Indian because the social engineers came along and tied a lot of that into chattel property, 7224 Christian Black Code, blase squaze type of thing. Constructs and contracts they got up. So when I go get a birth certificate, live birth, that's a contract. I go get my social security card with all black folk, brown, pride, and poor white. Our parents, when they told us to get a job, we ain't know nothing about the birth certificate and the social security and the state ID because you probably wasn't driving. Your ass so broke you can't even wait till you can drive legally. You already trying like me. I was trying to get on the dock. I was like 12. Baby boy told me, "No, you too young." So when I finally went to what? Mickey D's by Edison in 95, 62nd. With that faggot ass manager, "You ain't making my hot cake fast enough." That's how I got fired. One of my first mornings, it's morning too. One of my first mornings, they had a thing you put on the grill and squeeze like a silo. Come down like this to a little thing, and the batter come out like that, right by the grill. You put it down, squeeze, and you space it out so they won't touch when it expand that batter, and it won't be touching no other pancake. You watch for the bubbles. Y'all know how to fix pancakes. He got mad because I was trying to make sure my pancakes don't touch, but I don't want them too wide apart where I could get more on the grill. It's my first time. This motherfucker trying to make me move faster and tried to make an argument out of that shit. And I ain't finna be in no sissy face arguing. That's probably why he doing it anyway. He want to get in my honey golden hazel eyes and shit and see my fuck faces. I've been grabbed with them butcher knives and that motherfucker went across his throat before he even knew what the fuck happened. Faggot ass, fuck ass nigga, bald head bitch. Now, I got the fuck up out of there. My cousin Tim from Tennessee, he was dating a chick there, right? She laughing, the rest of them laughing and all that. I got the fuck up out of there, balled up my apron and shit. But I had to bring my birth certificate, social security, and my state ID. I think that's why I got a state ID made that year for the first time, Florida state ID. I think that was my first state ID, was a Florida state ID. For that job, to get some bread, right? This like 97, 96, 97 we fucking with, right? Then I gotta go back to school, which I think is the 9th grade. And then the summer, after the 9th grade, that's YBI. I was just talking about that. That's why anything that connect, what I just touched on, this is the stuff I couldn't get into because I was saying so much then, right? I think this going into the 9th, right? I got a fade with, on top, honey blonde, golden, part through the middle, honey blonde on one side, black on the other. Honey blonde dye, right? Kind of curly, put a little S-curl or some shit, Hawaiian stick or some shit in that bitch, right? With a fade. I used to twist it up. Niggas in Miami weren't doing that yet. De-La Soul, the group had come out. So they used to, nigga called me De-La Soul. When I came back to live in 93, De-La's was everywhere. Twist. No Jerry curl shit. Most of them, they knew, they studied from the dreads how to go dreadlock. So they had De-La's. Soon Wicks gonna come out, which is basically dreads. Not the pretty bullshit. Just however they motherfucking grow. This more like it. You know, a lot of times they tie them together. It's a big ass booger, big ass clock. I forgot what Jelloso called them big ass booger ass wigs. One of them might be these things. And they like this. Bow. Wicks came out. But De-La's, they was calling it that because they looking at the videos. A lot of them ain't going to New York. They looking at the videos. So De La Soul when the first group came out with a little twist in his high right, low left fade with the pause and stuff, right? They knew about the fade, high right, low left, but De La Soul, one of them true goers, somebody twisted it up, 2, 3 of them twisted it up. So they was calling it De La in Miami. So that time period right there is when I went to get the berthing document, the dock. Berthing, you can birth a ship. You are a vessel of your mother. She is a vessel of her mother. Your father is a vessel of his mother. Mother's baby, papa's maybe, right? The umbilical cord. The navel is with umbilical cord touch, navigating through the waters, the seas of the embryonic sac in the gestation period, right? From sperm, egg, zygote, embryo type of thing, fetus, on until now newborn, berthing doc, birth certificate, hypothecating, laying claim on this vessel, which had already been a claim from the one that actually owned, which is the mother. Her mother was tricked into a birthing document, birth certificate. So they turned me on this, and you know, this is what I be talking about when he talk about quoting Noble Drew Ali from 1913 to 1923 or something, or 28-ish, when they knocked him off, the prophet, when he says stateless persons who are worthy of all the bullying, to paraphrase, that you come across because you won't accept your own, be yourself, and proclaim, declare your status, worship under your own vine and fig tree. It's a long statement. Brother Taz just said that on, I think, on House of Reawakening Minds, I think that was, where he quoted that, just that recent one on my Facebook. And I say, nah, because what they did to us as newborns for countless generations now, well, I won't say countless, but generation after generation, you never been exposed to the fact of who you are. How are you held accountable? See, they abuse the law and manipulate law, not legal statutory code. We talking law, not UCC, we talking law. All law, supreme law of the land. See, certain things are what you call extenuating circumstances. A judge, a state prosecutor, attorney at law, Esquire, and all them in there, and actual attorneys, magistrates and all that, they have to take into consideration what context this thing, this issue that's on trial took place in. Because sometimes things that are unlawful become, okay, I'm speeding, but the head of my child is breached and coming out of my wife. She wearing a sundress, and I'm speeding to Jackson Hospital, right? Down 12. I'm speeding, I ain't stopped, fleeing and eluding. To emergency room. It's supposed to always a sheriff or somebody right there. Get out. Hey, come out. She's having a baby, Now, I shouldn't get that fucking ticket. Miami-Dade, city of Miami, dick suckers. Now, so you take in consideration the circumstances. Now, anyway, this is why I began. Because he actually had some people come over to the house to meet the family because they don't believe him. He had some documentation and whatnot. He didn't have it with him. He had the talk, the lexicon and stuff, and some niggas like, they G-checking. Like, nah, he ain't from no New York. He ain't from no, cause by now we don't went, no, matter of fact, we might have been Jersey at the time. Because we started saying Jersey. I forget. So like, nah. So he told me, he said some guys coming over here, man. And Mac's serious. Mac got a playful side and lighthearted. Mac dead serious. So he's like, hey man, we got some guys coming, man. He gave him the documentation. He was like, don't show this yet. Just tell them like, yeah, relax, calm, and ooh, when they don't believe you, be like, nah. Be like it's an afterthought. Say, oh man, I show you this, that. And then they document. And it got to that point because they didn't believe me. Even though by now I'm already doing what he told me to do. Right? But now I'm doing it. I never did it this good. Because I just so happen to be a type of person. If you speak Arabic, I can talk like you when you speak in English. And I know a little Arabic, so I can say it the way a person who is their first language. Same thing with Spanish, French, Iceland, Creole, and other languages I've come across, Japanese, Chinese, stuff like that. I can actually say it how they say it, right? So I was already, and I'm listening to the music, I'm hanging with people from up there. I'm picking up stuff naturally because just from hanging around, it influences you. If I was to move up there around that age or younger, I probably would end up talking different. Because after a while, because a person like me, you don't like to repeat yourself. So they come around sometimes they want to talk fast with a little mumble to the little undertone. You might be like, huh? What? Slow down? And you got to hear it again. That forces that person to repeat themselves. Same thing with down south. Everybody, nobody's Southerners. You be like, you can talk just like them and still like, hold on, say that again. You know, because only right now the person knows what they're actually saying. Jamaica's the same way. You got Jamaicans speak the Queen's English. That's just English with like a London accent type of thing. British, like Brits. Then you got the ones speak all different types of patois. Some patois kind of blends the Queen English. Some of that jive, you just don't know what they're saying. You gotta be like, look, man, I speak English. And you gotta wait till he starts speaking more like he'll probably speak the Queen English. Some of them be funny and speak some country shit, some Southern shit and shit like that. Dawg, like Greg and Scott. Dawg. Right. It done started raining. So that's what started that. It was about money. It was about advancement, something that he had love for, and he was like bum. You know, he was like, he knew he had the talent, but that technical jive held him back. But, you know, they skipped over me. I used to see them, I saw them personally teach Icy Ice certain things he didn't know yet about the MP or the SB2. They used to pool knowledge, right? Technical knowledge, they pooled the resources. But they'll walk past me, man. I ain't never heard Soul Messiah talk till he got online. Most times I see Soul Messiah, he's a quiet person. He don't even talkative, chatterbox. Soul Messiah come in there, he might have some record to drop off. That's back in the day, like pumpkin. If you're trying to do a New York party, downtown Atlanta somewhere in Decatur, you got B-boys, MCs, and the B-girls in the house, all the New York hip-hop element that's like the party people. That's the type of records that they had. Jekyll and Hyde. I remember when Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh hadn't even come out yet. Like, for real, we going back. Profile Records just being formed. I spoke on that. I still ain't did the research again to put it fresh in my mind. I just wanted to run through that right quick. Because that's a lot like what became Locking It Down Records. It's a lot like that, not exactly. It was supposed to be more like that, because I think his money came from like his parents or grandparents. My parents, society, scholastic, whatever you want to call that, society, even though they Muslim, they nation Muslim. But you got a lot of nation Muslims like that. My daddy was in the Masonic order first. Before he got in nation, he was in the church first. That's what I'm trying to say, church, society, Frederick T. Gates, John D. Rockefeller School. My mother, matter of fact, my mother told me a lot of her friends got mad, I think maybe on the campus or back in Miami. I can't remember where she was, because she went to Dunbar Elementary. They was in the row houses by 95 in 8th Street. Or they're like 5th, 6th, 7th Ave up in there, 8th Ave up in there, in the row houses. Dunbar Elementary. I forgot what high school, maybe Northwestern, maybe a Central, I forget. And FAMU. So when she was around about FAM, I think, she was born with 40, 50, 60. I think FAM, when some associates and friends were mad because she wouldn't do the sit-in. That was the desegregation type thing. Black power / that desegregation that gave birth to the detour from what black power really was. The media, they got the juice, the power, the hookup, the juice, J-U-I-C-E. They single out Michael King or Martin Luther. Michael King. Eventually, Malcolm X, especially when they got him to say something when he had the gag order after the Kennedy assassination. Certain Panthers, so-called leaders, they would pick and choose who they gonna put in the media. So anybody who trying to get raised, who are being raised by the radio, television, idiot box type people, and school textbook type people, they derail them into what 14th Amendment person, minority, affirmative action. Because certain schools we fighting to get in. Instead of fighting the federal government to fund our schools, Frederick Douglass, Wilmot Blyton type of, we go the W.E.B. Du Bois route and fall into that trap, especially desegregating the school, a predominantly white school. Because you think you're gonna get a better education, right? Because you go in there because you feel like, well, they're gonna drop the ball on purpose in the predominantly black school. but it's all education, not erudite. Now, so she is one who's educated fool. That's the term, educated fool. That's how they fooled us. Through the church, the education system, even the masjids and mosques became, what they call it? Compromise. Now, the Adam chamber, he broke that down too recently. House of Reawakening Minds, crystals, magnets, pyramids, Talib Mosque Abdullah, right? I got it on my Facebook. I gotta go back. I gotta get some pen and paper. I lost everything out, everything. Everything from a number 2 pencil to some glitter to you name a microphone, some stuff I had to give away to family. The rest of the stuff got auctioned off because it just so happened that the days I allotted for that, I ran out of time. I couldn't get the finance to pay for my storage, and my car broke down. I was trying to give all my mother and father, nieces and nephews majority of my shit, like all, because it wasn't nothing old in there. It was about 2 garbage bags for the old white tees and tank. That's it. Rest of that shit was new. I'm talking about it was a big storage unit. It was new. But the car broke down at the in Hialeah, and I didn't know what was wrong with it. And at the last minute, one of my distant cousins popped up right there by Ibrahim, Master Ibrahim, down the street from the storage. At the we had like 2 days left, and he had to come, bam, get it. And it was still a lot. He'll tell you, it was still a lot of shit still in there. So a lot of this come from me doing stuff like this. The little bit I can do, which like I always say, you see me always a baton. My part of the relay race is very short, less than 40 yards. It's a 400 meter. I'm running like about 15 yards. I gotta pass it. I just got it from Grand Shape. I run a couple of yards, pass it on to somebody, boom. I only do right and exact. I don't do fleecing the people. I don't do grandstanding, all this other stuff that's really not it. I do it, and I'm limited in it. But the powers that be screwing around with people, the powers that be BSing, right? They have control, not just access. They have control over message inbox, what you post, social media, email, telephone, text messages on the phone. That's why I clicked on such and such, whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit sent me a text message. Communicating something that could have waited till we got face to face. If you really, really want me, you see my business card, you know what you about, what you do. If you was to make up a flyer like I did, I turned a flyer into a business card. I got that from Africa Black, Africa Realm Black, right? Association Africa Black. Anybody in Miami know Africa Black, right? He had a card like that, red, blue, like that. So I took my logo from high school, Invisible Enterprises, and put it on there and listed about 17 different entities. I didn't put on the moving and storage because in moving and storage, when we get certain venues, we gotta go to the ones always moving forward, moving, 2 men in the truck, blase squaze, because you gotta be licensed and insured. And me and Earl, we got held back because we got some of my key employees that would be working with us really on the board. Like once we grow and you can invest stock, they'll be like up there with us. They going to jail, getting narcotics charges and all that. I'm like, hold up, man, because they ain't finna pull that thing over one day or rush up in my warehouse, pull over one of my tractor trailers and say me and Earl Sr. is not only money laundering, but also trafficking drugs with the same company and get 1 million years. I said, fuck this shit. As bad as I need that money, but it's all right because this real estate market blew and most people doing moving and storage now, they can't even afford to get their own shit and put it in storage, and they don't know how in the hell they're gonna get another place because they out their principal place of living. All that job coming back from Obama, period, and right before Obama, right? When people were getting a foreclosure, Fannie Mae, the housing balloon, all that pre-Obama, during Obama, that was mostly middle class and lower class, some upper middle here and there, right? Now it's going to upper class, not upper middle, but upper class. These people slashing down the prices from like 1.7 million, 2 million, down to the hundreds of thousands, and can't sell it because don't nobody want the headache of the housing authority, the assessment, if it's any building, but definitely condo associations and apartments. You got the assessment fees, you got insurance triple. If you own, you still got the property tax to deal with, and insurance triple. A lot of insurance pulled out. The ones that stayed, they like 600,000, the base rate and above. And most roofing jobs don't even cost that much. You stuck. If it's 100,000, 90,000, 50,000, 200,000, you stuck. 275,000. You stuck. Trying to figure out just a leak or whatever, right? So real estate sales down, acquisition is down because that's why they selling so much. They can't handle it. A lot of people can't handle that much. Those companies that was buying up Florida, especially Miami, I gave an example. Oh, it's only an hour? Okay, hour, 10 minutes. Roy Owens Sr., may Allah be pleased with the light service. Rest in peace. He was stark raving mad because he couldn't move his principal domicile, I think it was, right next door to me, to the east. They was trying to give him roughly 80-something thousand, I think, or not 80. They were trying to get below 80 or only like 82, 83. And he was like, because from the sidewalk to that little edge of grass, on to that wall that leads to the Haitians thing on 54th Street, that garage or whatever over on the side, immaculate. We talking about yard, house, roof, foundation on up to the roof, and immaculate. Everything you can think of, the light switch, the door knob, everything. The floor, all that. And he was like, nah. He had to hold on to it. That was definitely 97. Operation Green Palm was going on at the time with the headers and the politicians I was talking about. That was before late in 97 when they went after the Towners, JD, and the Booby Boys, primarily in the media. But that was the green light for all people, especially melanated, poor white trash. Don't have no tracks on your arm, it's looking all greasy and gravy out here. Yeah, right? Sound like a wigger, right? What we call them? It's a gray girls and all that kind of stuff. The gray boys are good. You're going down. They locked up so many people from 97 to 2000 and something and beyond because of what they made a big deal about the Booby Boys, John Doe Gang, and the Towners. That was in that particular, but that was a lot of time I just say, because, man, that was everybody. Especially you dress a certain way, you drove a certain type of car, aftermarket stuff on the car. Now, yeah, they come. I said the other day, they want to get through all this here, get up in the boongie hole and all that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I started that. And when I got to know a lot of them personally, FTW, people like that, Cape Bourne, North New Jersey, right? North, Brick City. I started to intimate them the truth. Majestic T, Chi-Town, right? And I tell them the truth, not everybody. Because a lot of people knew I was Miami. McKellen Brothers up Tilson Road, they knew I was Miami. I got introduced as Miami, not New York. And other people. But it was only for that too, and it was really to assist him, because I wasn't all up in that. Mac, DJ Icy Ice, Chi-Town Incorporated, YBI, they took off. Right? Music tip. At one point, Bernard sold all his equipment, and he stopped being so hip-hop. And it's possibly because he came across the likes of Andre Harrell. But they didn't say, matter of fact, that's the first time I overheard anybody talking within the hip-hop industry about the type of stuff Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, because they were talking about a particular like agent or something. They found him out. he was trying to get little sexual favor instead of doing his part of the verbal contract or written contract. They got that. He's trying to get a sexual favor, or if you don't do that, So around that time, not too long after that, he fell back off of hip hop as an active DJ, MC, and producer. He still had his equipment and he sold that. I'm like, I could have got that, right? Mac got his. Mac moved, right? He moved. Because he ain't like how the street was changing. It never was a thug out the street, it was thugs on the street. No, I'm lying. No, I'm lying. When we first moved over there, it was wild. Family Feud, there was Family Feud when we first moved over there, actually. That calmed down. Then everybody started being more friendly, even the ones who actually was fighting each other, it was more friendly and woo-woo. So now, and ones around my age, who was really in the thick of it, I don't want to say their name, because they probably don't want me to say that. I don't know what they want. I know exactly who it was. But that mellowed out, became way more friendly, right? So Mac didn't like how they was acting, and it got hot. I will say this. Larry Trimble and Robert Jester was at Big Head Marlin Head. Me, Randolph White, Gary Evans stood up for Marlin, and Terrence Harris. Robert Jester and Larry Trimble, they driving Jeeps and stuff like that, Cherokee stuff like that. That was hot back then. They rolled up with an entourage, vehicles on our block. Okay, I think because Marlon went through the pass, the south side of Tilson. He went through the one that connect to all them woods I was talking about. Mike Jabot came out the woods. Them woods connect neighborhoods and counties with deer and shit all over, big ass snakes and shit, right? Now, Terrence Harris stood in front of the pad, wouldn't let him chase him. Robert Jester and Larry Trimble ready to thump. They just don't know. Terry fight better than a good majority of people in the whole gang are down by law. No BS. They finna square off. He come from the north side, somewhere by Shakita them house, and Rod them. He came from about that way. I don't know where he was at, because I hadn't seen him up for a minute. Mike Murphy. What's up, man? What's up? They did like this. This Larry Trimble and Robert Jester. These football players, like star running back. Both of them like star running backs. Like one maybe Columbia. They done graduated. They first year, they supposed to be like freshman college now. One maybe Columbia, the other like Gordon Walker, something like that. Don't quote me on that. One of them three, I think one of them three schools though. Columbia, Gordon Walker. They mooching up, right? You hold them up, right? And I'm sitting up and like, they finna fight Terry, they scared of Mike, nigga, they lucky Mike saved them, right? And we ain't gonna stand by and watch this either. We got Gary Evans, Randolph White, and myself. And Terry had, but then Mike Murphy came, like I say, Mike Murphy came out of nowhere. Man, what's up? What's up? Them niggas, oh, Mike, hey man, Mike, no, Mike, man, Mike, they explain it. They copping deuces, bunny ears. I'm just sitting like, damn. This is what I'm seeing firsthand, not what somebody said grapevine, firsthand. One of the situation where by his name and his face, his appearance, his special appearance. I'm talking about these, when they came, because it got to a point, I don't know if Mike slapped one of them or what, but Mike really, like, about Marlon. They didn't like that, because Marlon had did some bad business. Like, they came back in a long line of cars coming from Gordon Walker High School way, the west side of Tilson Road. And they'd come from Candler, the east way, up westbound until they were coming. They kept coming back and forth, flying. I want to say we, but they wouldn't give me a pistol that night. So who I'm with, don't say no names. That night, this is a different time. That night, I ain't gonna say no name, I'm with her. He's still behind Marley. Bah, 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 bah. They shot back too. We shot the most. It never came back. But that night, a bunch. Cars, Jeeps, trucks, like that. A bunch of niggas. But that's the power Mike Murphy held. Because in all actuality, we weren't officially down by law yet. Those were other guys and Mike, not us. That's why I say child labor law, we the baby law. We not that far behind them in age, so soon we gonna hit 18. He ain't gotta worry about contributing to the legality of a minor. We can drive legally, drive like all that. So now we can do more and be around the rest who was kind of shied away, because we go back before they even made that name up for the game. Mike Murphy was raised with them niggas. That's why it was so thick, so deep, from childhood. East Lake Meadows, other parts of Atlanta, Decatur, even outside the greater Atlanta area and whatnot, you know? You're gonna always know somebody from out of town and out the country already, whether they family or not. That's why I say that East Lake Meadows shit, squash that shit, nigga. It's international, player. For real, for real. Now, so, Mac moved because it got too hot. Our block was never that hot, right? Last time somebody came to our block was Chateau Boys, elementary school. And that didn't go down. I was on punishment. They tried to get me to come out that day. I was on punishment for something. Probably me and Kid Nice got caught stealing, right? Almost went to juvenile, but they ain't take it to jail. I got on punishment. That's probably what I was on punishment for. Elementary school, Chateau Boys, right? Ain't nobody came around there, right? So now it's getting like Mac moved. Then my old girl found out through the grapevine about that shootout and some other stuff. She moved, right? So now, I'm only coming back and forth over there after school because I'm catching the same school bus. I get on the 15 Decatur station, southbound, to take it out there to the first place we went when we moved, right? From there, we went to Pavilion, next to South DeKalb Mall, then Alpine / that Kings Glen, across the street from Eastwick, with Rico Maxwell. It's tiny, right? I meet Rico Maxwell after we moved to Kings Glen / that Alpine. I didn't know him. That's another down by law. That's how big that shit was. Maxwell family, very, very well known back then. In the 80s, yes sir. Very, very well known, especially his daddy, right? Like I think some uncles and aunts and stuff like that. Very well known Maxwells, right? So I meet Rico, Frederick Ricola Maxwell. We call him Rico. Now, the New York shit and all that shit, me and Kid Nice around that time, we dressing like that a lot because it was like better than the stuff the Georgia boys was on, but we'll touch on that too. Preppy style and stuff like that. You dress all the way up, 3-piece suit and all that, but when we get our sporty and whatnot, sporty casual, was more like, you know, the guys on the albums, any guys in town from New York, you know, because they really getting the clothes first. I found out down the line, Port of Miami get most stuff. They come to the States, but they ship it on the train and the tractor trailers straight to New York, and then they hit, you know, whatever they got up there, they stores. And we ain't got it yet, but it just came through out the country to Port of Miami. Plus, we got a hot climate year round. A lot of stuff we ain't even gonna get. Gotta order it, go to the catalog, all they find, you know, see a motherfucker from up there in the wintertime and be like, yo, where you get that from, blah, blah, blah? Oh, I bought this, da, 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 da. That's why. So anyway, I'm running more with Georgia boys and people from out of town running with us. We don't hang with them, they hang with us, right? Sean from Queens. You like that? Yeah, he's the one showed me Bismarck Dan. There's 2 different Bismarck Dan. Sean, wow. You like that? Showing me different dances and shit, right? So anyway, I want to finish school. So if you ain't at Columbia High, on the bus like Derek Scooby Brown was on the school bus, we catching the bus together on campus. Aunt Lou, rest in peace. Tay, people like that, other people. I don't think they did. Yes, I ain't gonna say their name. Right? We at the school. Slims don't go there. I don't know where Matt went. Vice grip. Anyway, you ain't at school, Tilson. Eventually Pavilion, because wasn't nobody out there. So further south wasn't nobody out there. Ellenwood, wasn't nobody out there. Right? And you ain't in Pavilion, DJ Reggie Red was next door upstairs. DJ Reggie Red. Matter of fact, it was townhouse. So we both got upstairs and downstairs. In Pavilion, his sister Sophie, his brother and them, all his mama and them, they right next door. Right? So I still got that hip hop ability to do something and make something, but don't nobody want to do. Everybody has some street shit. Right? So Jay from Africa was right next door on the north side. Philly on the south side. Jay ended up shooting at somebody through Eastwick. When they moved, he ended up in Eastwick shooting at somebody. Bam, 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 bam. When in Pavilion, fuck the police that just came out. Jay went crazy. Oh shit! Oh. You hear that? You hear? A few months, he had a real pretty mama from Africa. She moved to Eastwick, from Pavilion, Eastwick. A few months or a year, something like that. It couldn't take too long, because we went across the street from Eastwick not too long after that too, and that's what I'm hearing the story. Like, yeah, Jay, you know Jay, African boy, he chased such and such, bam, 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 right? He might have had 2 guns. Damn, yeah, what happened to him? Nothing, man. I'm like, no. They let him slide. So anyway, streets took my partners. The hood took me under. From the rap. Ain't nobody serious about no rap. Dante Wheeler up the street, Wendy Hill. He ain't serious like serious mean recording a song. Now we did something in Columbia High, me and him in common, way back, like Run DMC first album out. Maybe second. Way back. Rakim ain't came out yet. We talking way back. Might have did that before Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, or just after them. That first album. Right? Way back. Right? Wearing Puma suits, fat laces and shit like that. Shell toes and shit like that. Kango, dome top, Spitfire, got the slang. We dressing like that. Name belt, name ring and stuff like that. Might have your name on your chest. Gold, gold jewels and whatever. Nigga got money. We like that. Then you got the prep crowd. The Atlanta, Decatur like crowd, dressed preppy. And sometimes it'd be like jeans and a crew neck t-shirt, like type shit, tennis shoe type of shit, right? They're about as street as they got. Dickies sparingly, Miami was more heavy on Dickies before NWA came out. Before rappers started wearing Dickies, like trying to be gangster, whatever. Miami nigga was already wearing Dickies. Especially niggas on the dock, niggas working in the warehouse, shit like that. They had a Dickie suit and whatnot. Right? Bottom. Right? Got a little darker hat with a swordfish on it, might have an anchor on it. That's the hat. Right there in the middle, got that on there. Might wear the captain hat, the real captain hat. A boat captain. Shit like that. Right? Clarks, Travel Fox, Buffalino, shit like that, Miami. Right? So anyway, the starters came out around that time. So niggas was getting killed for starter jackets, starter hats, and Air Jordans. Gold chains, gold watch, Rolex and stuff like that, rings. That was like, and definitely bankroll in the pocket. If you got drugs, if you selling drugs, you tend to carry on like a lot, you might get killed and robbed for that. That's around that time. This is just on the heels of niggas starting to come back from fist fights, bullies, come back from losing a fist fight and kill somebody, or sometimes they might have got bullied on and tried to fight and lost and still went back because he really wasn't supposed to be fighting anyway. You got stuff like that had just started happening. And now it's bigger guns. From the big handguns on into the Uzis, Mac 11s, into the shotguns and AKs on the regular. And it's back and forth, niggas back and forth in that gunplay, right? And to be honest, this right before they made the Bloods and Crips famous on the daytime talk shows. That's how they started getting famous in the media. It was daytime talk shows, and then the movies, and then Ice-T and people like that brought into the rap. But before that, we had gangs from generations going back. So anyway, like Chief Rod say, these ain't number tribes and clans. The military age males of the tribes and clans, right? Handling that type of stuff, militant type stuff, right? Enforcement and all that kind of stuff. Ain't nothing new. That's culture freedom. So anyway, nobody serious about the rap. LL came out, as I said before, recently, the Rick publication, Cole getting paid because Rick said so. Something G for 20 minutes, that's the pay I earn. But wanna be, when will you learn? Yeah, he going off. So niggas that I mentioned, like Big D from the Bronx, Chuck from Philly, Black Chuck from Philly, these niggas could rap. God bless the dead for Chuck. Miami Mac, he rap too. But now I was just DJ producer, he ain't hardly rap that much. And other rappers. Oh man, you like, man, why don't you get it, right? Terrence Harris told me about somebody, I can't remember their name, but he was real G back then. He was like a down by law type of G type person. I refuse boy like type of person. He kept going to jail. But Terry Harris said he had a book of raps. He rap good, he write when he in jail, he write on the street. But I never heard him. I heard Big D from the Bronx, I heard Chuck, and some other niggas on the mixtapes that were making with Soul Messiah and DJ Mac and them. So, I ain't running with Mac, them crew. I'm just with Mac them. It's people who come to the house, my mama house. When I go out with Down by Law. I moved over there in Eastwick. I ain't go out with Eastwick. I'm still going out when we find, cause we were both broke. We met each other broke. Rico just getting out of jail not too long. Niggas over Edgewood, Kirkwood, like type nigga, they turned their back on him. He come back, can't get a jug out of nobody. I forgot a lot of names, right? From that little area. Evil E gonna get introduced to me. He want a Rico boy from that area. East Atlanta, right? West Decatur, like LaPard. It's LaPard. The map kind of like got it right, kind of wrong. Blah, blah, the streets know it right. They arguing about that on Facebook now. Kirkwood, Edgewood, all up in there. Evil E, Rico Maxwell, they strong over there, right? East Lake Meadow, bam. So I meet Evil E through, what his name, Richardson? Or Robinson? He probably Robinson on Facebook. I met him through Rico Maxwell. I didn't even know he was in the music that heavy. He mentioned it before I went to Miami. So we still got what me and Slimzo did in June of '91 out. So at least I did that. Moved to Alpine, Kings Glen. It's Alpine. Same thing. Alpine, then Kings Glen. Same apartment, complex. Across the street is Eastwick, on the east side, Cannon Road. Me and Slimzo, June, my high school graduation go out. We out of school. I ain't went to college yet. I'm grinding, working in a restaurant, on the street hustling, doing everything from pimping to whatever. I might hijack a plane, cause don't push me, cause I'm close. Enrolling in college, I wanna be fresh. I'm trying not to knock off a bitch head. It make you wonder how sometimes I gotta keep from going under. That's that time period. We put out them 4 songs. It had just as much as impact as Melly Mel and the Message had on Rakim. My songs had on, and Slimzo had on the music industry as a whole. Swear for fucking God, why should he strike me down when I ain't lying? Nah, player. Chopper style. When nigga be breaking them words and syllables up like that, wasn't nobody doing that prior to that. The first to make it to wax, as far as to the best of my recollection and knowledge, was Spice motherfucking One. Right? I say I love so much I don't even know his government name. And that's Effects. Scoob and the other one. That's Effects. Bump skitty bump. That album, that first debut album, is Spice One Day album. Gone. Boom, money gone. Kept up in the brain with the 9, man. I sat down and listened to that job and listened to that job, and before me and Rico would go out, we don't know about UGK yet, right? He gonna turn me on to that when I come back for that case me and Ronald Brock had. That's when I'm be turned on to UGK. I might have heard Pocket Full of Stone though, cause that's on the soundtrack. I might have heard that, but he got the album, short texts and all that. So here I go. Oh, it was like a drug. Matter of fact, I ain't need much reefer alcohol when that's playing. Money gone especially, and they want effect. They want effect. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Have it do. Here, fight, old boy, fetch. Nigga, Ain't nobody else doing this. Nobody else. We came out in June of '91. They came out after. Now, I know they was in the studio working on shit, and Das EFX said themselves, they had a clash with the record company, because they tried to make them do that every song, every album. And they was like, man, we got MIDI style, man, we real rapper, we real B-boy, hip-hop, nigga, we see them New Yorkers? Tri-State, man, even Virginia right there on Raid, like, man, they got so much different jive that they come with within the span of like 16 bars. They can't fit it in 16 bars. They can't fit it on the album. They couldn't even get on and rock the mic 2 hours long and get and touch it all. Then they always make it up something new. Real lyricists. That's I say the category I'm in. But I gotta write and make a song. I ain't gonna try to do no off the dome at no concert. No, I just make songs. Nice tight tracks, tight song. Hey, you don't like it? Fuck you. Anyway, and then in the so-called, in reality rap, what sometimes they call gangster rap or hardcore rap, reality rap. Now, yeah, that's a cakewalk, that's a walk in the park. My granddaddy, Peter Gabriel, right? One of the only pictures I got of him, it's like all cream. The ones I was talking about go from black and white to color in between that transition with like cream and brownish and all that, right? What I see is a gangster. He got a fedora, 3-piece suit, and the look on his face, I see a gangster, pimp or something like that. They say he was a chauffeur or something like that. Professionally, like drove car professional, what they call it, E-class license type of driver. But I see a gangster. I see somebody go in the movie Harlem Nights, slashing somebody's throat or something, dropping them off in the river, off the bridge. Hudson River, East River, somewhere. Bite, New Jersey, New York, bite, right? Yeah, that's what I see. And Harold Mackey, he was called him Fast Black when he grew up. He's Bahamian descent, his mother and father. Bahamians. Eleuthera or Cat Island. His wife was Eleuthera or Cat Island. I get the islands mixed up. Gertrude Pratt Mackey. Right? They used to call him Fast Black. He went to the military eventually. Came back. He was an engineer, farmer, right? Blase squaze. Definitely got mason. I seen him actually with my own 2 eyes doing mason, laying brick, the house on 75th. The wall outside, still there now. It's a wall outside the house, 1724. I'm coming about the door, historical orator. I know you heard this all before. 1724 Northwest 75th Street. And 17 Ave, Northwest 75th Street. Right over there by Andre them seafood thing over there. It's another soul food there now. Now, I saw him laying brick mason. That's one of the skills. Like I was saying a few earlier publications, most black men back then, quote unquote black men, they had about 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 skills when it come down building, plumbing, carpentry, all that kind of stuff. Building and repairing. He's an engineer. So he was in the army, he was primarily, they had him building bridges, like quick ones, where there is no bridge. They gotta make one right quick so the battalion, the platoon can get across the rivers and whatnot. That type of shit. If one is blown up from whatever fire, explosive, repaired enough to get the army jeeps or whatever they got across right quick. Right? So anyway, We grew up before rap music came out, before Sugar Hill Gang and all that. When Ice Cube them come out, that's porch monkey talk. That's locker room talk. That's at the bar somewhere, the pool hall. That's the type of talk you hear. If you in church, they whispering. If you around the elders, you want to respect them, they talking low. Around a lot of squares, that's why I say mumble rap. I was doing mumble rap before they niggas mumble rappers came out. One good example is that Beyonce song, Soldiers in Here. Need to take care of me. I need some soldiers in here. Me and Problem 13 made a song of that. Problem 13 was like, he never saw me fuck up that bad, but I wasn't fucking up. It was meant to sound like that. He was like, you want to do that over? I didn't know. And I was purposely, because that's how we do. If my mom over there, grandmama or police officer, somebody like that, we like this. No, sorry. Oh, sorry, hell no. That's where it came from. Oh, the hell no. Get up out of this shit. It's all this shit, man. Mouth ain't even moving. This shit, man. It's all, you clean. Okay, look at this shit. I ain't scared. That's mumble rap. That we came. We really talk like that all through the Decatur in Atlanta. I started doing that. Cause they won't give me the track to do the chopper style, but I could do that. They won't give me the tracks. And it dawned on me, I think, that day. Right? And I think all these niggas that Yin Yang song, that's kind of like that too, cause that ain't a song to go off on. That's that goddamn, just wait until you see my dick, little bitch. That shit ain't no, you won't go off on that shit. That's why I came up, all these niggas be hating on me, cause he's still hating with the track itself. Right? I'm an album artist, man. I'm a discography artist. I'm a career artist. Not just no ghostwriter in the background. I got everything it takes to center stage, photo shoot to this. I'm 52 years old. If it wasn't for this player hating in my motherfucking life over the last 3 years especially, I'd be in tip-top shape. My injuries notwithstanding. I know isometric calisthenics. I lay on my back in my bed and do shit. Like a vacuum. In my bed. And all kind of other shit. Diet, water, shit like that. And shit I ain't even gonna mention, because I go in the store and buy, motherfucker been put some shit in there. I go pick up this sarsaparilla shit, whatever the fuck it is, because they know. Because I done opened my mouth, big mouth, and said some shit. Anyway, now, I can touch on some more shit, but it's not primarily about that. One day down the line, I will come up probably with a chart. Like Green Eye Stan, Baby Spade, Black Spade, he gets some straightening. About Bronzedale, Soundview, and all that, the DJ Mario, they got a block. They got a street name out of DJ Mario now. Right? This real hip hop, man, we talking about, man. Not the biters, not the imitators, not the scragglers, and then you got the ones who really deserve that spot. They earned it, but they took concessions majority wouldn't take. And remember now, a lot of us don't like corporate America anyway. See, you looking at one of the type, Freddie's dead. He had on the stocking cap, fishnet, black pantyhose. He had the brown skin stocking cap on the movie Superfly, trying to do a stick up because he done messed up some dope money, and the dope boy's gonna kill him, so he trying to rob now. He bungled that, and they end up. That's why the song say Freddie's dead, Curtis Mayfield, the soundtrack, right? But they clowned the robber in that in Superfly. Real life, a lot of times in the media, they clown the robber. Real life player, it's a whole nother story. I don't think his family would like me to mention this about him, so I was gonna use an example. But his family, he's passed away, but his family might not be happy that I want to speak on him in that light. I'm trying to think of something I can speak on, because my personal experience in my youth, preteen, teenage years, when I was actively out there, really, as preteen, teenage years. By the time I'm 19, I'm in college. I slowed the fuck down, right? And I'm serious about it. We done put the music out when I was 18. I'm serious about that. So everywhere I go, I'm corporate head hunting. I'm looking for people who can find. I don't need much money. Blank CDs. I do need 2 turntables, 2 1200s. DJ setup / that producer said I need that. I can't rely on Mac. ISO here. So I'm trying to get money, but I'm trying to hustle and scramble all I can do too. I'm working in a restaurant, doing landscaping and all that. So those are my years. But what's happening is the old school. First of all, they read. They follow legislature. Old school. They in the law library. They ain't like us. They knew all the mummerings and the humblings and the talking and the philosophies and whatnot that was going around, like in the teachers' lounge at the universities, all the places that keep up with law, case law, blasé, because we all got to do it. Ignorance of the law is not no excuse. You got civil law. If you got an estate, you got to be up on that. When probate court come and somebody passed away, it's all kind of stuff you got to be on the law books about. But criminal law touches all of that because you can do a crime, in real estate. You could do so. It's all it meshes. So the readers, the erudite, I say but it's erudite. The erudite, they was up, so that why they was looking at us like with a spook look, like boy. So it hadn't changed yet. We can still get away with it. But if you did get caught for whatever reason, in the courtroom, the charges had gotten stiffer. Now we talking about 3 strikes you out, HBO, 10-20 life. This ain't even happened yet. This the 80s. They still giving out that type of time back then, especially got priors. Can't have a clean record once that first, especially conviction. Once that first conviction, you have priors. So they go to the higher end of the scorecard. Now we still had 85%, something like that. The game time was better, right? The judges used to be more lenient and understanding because the judges, they were more people persons. They knew what the bigwig government machine was doing. And it was wrong, it was unconstitutional, and a lot of stuff. They saw them pull out the programs out of the prisons and the jails and even the high schools and the middle schools and the colleges. CIVICS was one of the first things to go out. Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, House of Rear Awakening Minds, Dr. G, Gilliam, get on that. The recent one, he talking about Constitution, Articles of Confederation. All right, ... I don't want to misquote anything. I gotta stop there. When I'm reading this, effing me up, because he done condensed in that short period that it took him to say that. Then I had to glean that from different publications that people was putting out on him before he got with Dr. G on a regular basis, even after he got with Dr. G, because he does a lot of question and answer. Our minds are so decrepit as far as the good questions we should ask, and he really wholeheartedly wants to answer the question, so he stuck to foreclosure, traffic ticket, basic Mickey Mouse shit, and every now and then he'll go to this stuff, because it's relative to what he's saying right then. This time, he crammed it. I ain't never heard it crammed like that, like too tough. And I was just saying on the publication, I got books on him. Dictation, I took much dick from dictation, from his oral verbiage, right, online. Not in present in the class. I never had the privilege of meeting him face to face. And like I say, I might get shot, because I'm trying to rub and hug and kiss him. Bam, 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 oh. But I appreciate that man so much. Dictation in folders. I went to get a trapper keeper. Kind of find out they don't sell them no more. That's how I found out in Target, in Midtown, over there by Design District, Miami. That's when I found out trapper keepers are no longer on the shelves in the stores. They went out. They obsolete. I'm like, huh? And then they say they was dumbing down in the mid-90s. They say they're dumbing them down. Yeah, I know a lot of people work in the school system. Auntie had a nursery and all that, pre-K. They was dumbing it. When they took that trapper keeper up out of there, and that composition book with all them weights and measurements and all that in the back of the book, that's no longer on the shelves. So I got the construction paper like folder, red, green, purple like that, with the 2 little slots you slide the paper in. Some of you can punch holes and put them in a trapper keeper like folder. It still got the metal binder with about 3 or 4 clamps on it. Metal. The big one, that's harder. You can put the paper stuff in. And that one got little things you can slide paper in the little, right? And then they got the thing in the middle, clack, clack. So I had to go get some concoction like that to make a knockoff nigger rig trapper keeper. But they ain't got no more. Boy, I was mad. Cause that reminded me, when I left West Georgia College, it was only for some days and weeks. It wasn't supposed to be, I'm 52 years old now and ain't went back since I was 19. Mike Jabot had a lot to do with that shit. Cause I was on the warpath. Murder, murder, murder. Oh, metata. When that nigga grabbed my motherfucking wrist that day, that night. Coming out the wood, out the thicket. Oh, player. Now, money, money, money over bitches, money over bullshit, right? Money over bullshit, right? But all bullshit must cease. ASAP. ASAP, ASAP, boom, 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 until finally, when I talked to Lillian Sakasa, a mental therapist down south, CHI, South Miami. I was living in the Naranja. And as I told her, I said, well, you wouldn't be hearing this right now coming out my mouth if I still had the intentions on killing him. And I went into it with her for the first time before I hardly told nobody, period. But Lillian Sakasa, who she got to write it down, she got a DEA number. She's a psychiatrist, mental psychiatrist. How you say psychiatry, psychology? She that type of shit, therapy, right? Right, we doing this a therapeutic session, it's professional. She got to log it in and all that, pass it on to the next motherfucker, put it in my file. And I'm telling her, I wouldn't be talking to you. You the first person I ever told this to, my part of the story. He mentioned something when Gail S. Colson in the stick ship dropped me off up there by like Meineke, whatever that was. The Arab had something, it was a Blimpies up there, right by Alpine, Kings Glen entrance. It was a parking lot there. Me, Applehead, Doug, all them, they there. I'm just getting there from Ellenwood. Gail dropped me off, she pulled off. We worked together, we co-worked. She dropped me off, she gone. Jabot, I don't even know he there. Jabot come out of now this, then I'm back from college. What he did happened while I was in college. During that year, the freshman year. One of them time back with DJ Chaz. I'm trying to get back to the club, but I'm trying to do my little thing because Ebony A's known to be in there and a whole bunch of other tight work. So I'm trying to get back across town, downtown Atlanta with Club Paradise at. Cause I ain't gotta pay to get in. I'm in there. DJ Chaz knows some of everybody. He can hook me over girls. He know all the fledgling CEOs, agents, managing the hip hop and R&B and all that. But we got LaFace Records blowing up back then, right? I tried to say it, Dallas, Austin, all them motherfuckers. All that. Atlanta, I don't even think they named it the Mecca of hip hop just yet. One of them freak niggas, Too Short finna come to move. MC8 finna come try to get away from that bull, that craziness in Oakland and Compton. All that ain't even hardly happened yet, right? Gail drive off. Mike Jabot come out of nowhere. It's a crowd of niggas. Me, Doug, Craig, Applehead, some more niggas. bunch of niggas. Pimpin' Ken, right? Probably Bell, Keith Cooper, niggas like that. Gettyville, Slick Will, all us out there. I'm just getting there. Mike Jabot came out and gave his version of what happened. So everybody looking at Mike Jabot. They turn and look at me. I'm like this. I probably got a smile on my face now. I wasn't smiling then. Stoic, heroic war song of a poet. Facing the east, facing Eastwick. Listening, he turned to me. He close to me. The whole crowd there. Right? And there, and Applehead, okay? Like, and I'm like this. Facing the east. They laugh, and then he faded off. That was the end of that. That's the first time in my presence it was spoken of. And I ain't say shit. Period. Good or bad. Right or wrong. And everybody who know me, by that time, they like, it ain't quite how Jabot was saying it. They know me. And some of them know me better than others, but a lot of them, see, that music helped a lot by now. Because a lot of these niggas here know me from school. In school, I got a good reputation. So it took like Down by Law, Tilson Road, certain little things for things to come out. They that nigga get down, But now, since they just now find a lot of that out, they like, but now it's kind of like the scale done tipped over here. Bam! Something to go left. Knowing that nigga right there. And by now, they ain't never got gaffled out like that out there. If anybody know it bar for bar, you know. Claim the fame out there. Hit past, made it present, forward, future, the blame, that's out there. Cag, Rapper, Smith & Wesson when the folks came. No fear, no shame, ain't worried about a thing. This me, not Kane to my Rodney King. Rodney King riots in California had not too long pop up. I'm telling you, this me, player. This me, shouter. This ain't no Rodney King, is what I'm telling them. So I start off the first bar claiming fame. It's about shooting at the police in the cut, handling some contraband and whatnot. They ain't finna find out I got this, but at the same time, it ain't about that. I just happen to be doing that. They coming through with all that trigger happy, crooked officer, why you wanna put me in a coffin, sir? type of jive. And like, When we were young, like I say, we used to like to have the contraband offer so we can fight the police. If they take the badge off and the gun off and let their partner over there by the car, what on one? What's up? Right? We'll switch that whole thing around from get up against guard, check, you got anybody? No, man, what's up, man? What's up? No, man, hell no, what you wanna do? Take that. We was like that, for real. Now, down by Law, the Tilson Road faction, the East Tilson Road faction, we didn't have to worry too much about that until around the time, say, Mac pulled off, my mama pulled off, and everybody scattered. So when the police finally started trying to ride down on us like they were doing up there by Allen Gartrell them, ain't nobody there doing nothing. The females on the block called because they panicking because of the shootout. Robert Jester, Larry Trimble, me, Terrence Harris, and other people. Bam. Big Pokey. Big Black Pokey. He stayed off Tilson, a little further west. Bam. God bless the dead for both of them. Bam. That's what started that. That's what made my mama want to leave. Mac don't want to be around because Mac wasn't a part of that. Him and ICI were doing their own thing. ICI sold his equipment, started running with Mike Murphy. Never left the DJ stuff and producer stuff alone. Mac still in the hip hop. Ice under Down by Law now, right? My mama moved, so I'm at the school with just like Low Mill Truett. It's just strictly Down by Law. Low Mill, a couple of people. Then you got Eastwick. Eastwick fuck with some Down by Law niggas like I don't think I should probably say their name, but some niggas that was up there like with Mike Murphy status. Some Eastwick, right? Big Cameron ended up going to the military. So people like that, Big Bimbo, people like that, they fuck with some down by law, right? So I got Eastwick, I was on Eastwick first, before down by law. That's where we moved from, right? So I'm good at Columbia High or Gordon or Walker, I'm good, right? Matter of fact, I'm good at all this shit. Because I know how to navigate through all the bullshit, right? So anyway, I'm a nation Muslim first, goddamn fruit to the, I ain't bullshit. I ain't bullshit. So anyway, something about to go left. Then it started to be like, okay, save up your money, shawty man, save up your money, man, you know. I see you hustling, whether you got a job out working at Wendy's restaurant, right? Dave Thomas, where's the beef? And we had the 99-cent menu. That's how far back this is. 99, Biggie Fry, Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, Junior Cheese Deluxe, the Biggie Soda drink, all that depth. I think if we had a 99-cent Frosty, 99. We still was getting the apple dumpling from when I was growing up. We still get the apple dumpling sometimes. It's the old Wendy's. Right? Dave Thomas, of course, still alive. Now, I'm hustling in the streets. But I primarily hustle right there. Everything right there. I come out of Alpine, Wendy's right there. Eastwick right there. I-20 right there. 285 a little further to the south. Counter Road. Moreland, Memorial, McAfee, Glenwood, to the I'm pointing the wrong way, to the north. Well, I'm staying at north that way. They to the north, right? Eastwick to the east, Alpine, so I come out of Alpine. Eastwick, I-20, Red Carpet Inn was very famous. Ooh, Red Carpet Inn right there across the bridge. The game room where I met Black Vicky, Carlton baby mama. One of his first, I don't know who the first, one of his first baby mamas, Black Vicky, I met her in the game, she was working in the game room, South DeKalb Mall that way, Eastwick right there. Me and Rico in A, C, he in C, I'm in B. I forgot mine, I think he was like C12. C2 or C12, right? We coming out there, right? We'll do the gas station first. Payphone, he got a lot of female. He calling different females and stuff. He got a cool baby mama, she know about all this 304s. So ain't no baby mama drama with that. So anybody can pull up on him, female, jump out, talk, another one pull up, ain't no static, right? Now, we'll do the gas station. We might stop. If we don't need something to eat or something, some alcohol or something at a Gene liquor store, we'll stop at the bus stop, the 15 Decatur Station northbound. Stop there, because they got the little thing overhead for the rain and all that. Rabbit, Poom, Reggie, all of them, they like to do that when they first get the hour part of Decatur, coming from Atlanta somewhere. Get out the 15, boom, they right there beating on the fiberglass and rapping and shit, right? When I said I know other nigga that rap Decatur like with the accent and all that like me, not just T.I., Rabbit, Poom, the whole bunch of niggas, right? Right? So, that's what we doing at that point. The music is out there. The police starting to come heavier, and this is what I truly believe now. When I put the whole puzzle together and look back in retrospect, I believe in all actuality, it was more certain ones amongst us was trying to get the police to catch us with something, a gun, contraband, to go to jail and sit down for a while because they believe I'm gonna kill Mike Jabot. That's why. And they believe if I do it, because it's way past time for me to go get Randolph White, Gary Evans, Terrence Harris, Mike Murphy, my brother, people like that. Tony McKenna brother, all the people we really do stuff with. Nigel Scott. I ain't said nothing to nobody. No Eastwick, no down by law. My mama, my daddy, they like, man, and they know from the grapevine how I handle shit. I ain't even gonna put that down. Omerta. O-M-E-R-T-A. That's Sicilian Italian. Omertà, La Costa Nostra. In the book, by the book, no Sammy the bullshit, you are not supposed to speak on certain stuff. You just handle your business. You don't trust the court has been overthrown. Now it's just a courtroom with players in it. Consular courts have not opened back up. You don't deal with the foreign colonial European occupation under the popes of Rome. Black priesthood. No. You only deal with La Familia. That's just family. So I have a soul tribe. Because my family members, like I told you, my mother kind of bougie. My dad ain't too far from it, even though he got a thug side. But he the type, he'll try to talk you out of that. Because really and truly, for a lot of people, the heavy hitters on my line, that's petty. And even if they do it, they're not going to do it by my way. My way is Omertà, La Costa Nostra, La Familia. I'm not playing. This nigga crossed me. This nigga must die. That's it. He might never be found, or it'd be an open case, cold case. That's my objective. That's his fault, not mine. Your problems don't make it my problem. That's how that was. They felt me. And like I say, the music is out. For all those who was around me, didn't know me like that, like the ones like Kid Nice, G2, people like that. Certain people, even Carmen Holmes, a good friend from Tony Elementary, he never was with me when I was doing stuff. So he really would be surprised if he heard certain things like, damn, he done went that far? Matter of fact, Carmen Holmes was the one few that pulled up on the bus stop, 15 Decatur Station, northbound, right? He pull up. I want y'all to see my face. He in the car, I think the passenger side. He say, he like you going down the tubes, man. You running with, we call it geek up. You running people who smoking crack in their cigarettes and in their reefer. Some of them coming straight from the pipe and the straight shooter. Some of them banging, main veining, right? Reefer heads, like a pound a day ass reefer heads. People who lived in juvenile, just turning 18 or 20 something odd years old, already got felons. All day long, all night long. And he ride up like this, and that's the last time me and Carmen Holmes looked in each other's face. So now, it's a lot of them guys, Lil Doug, Lil Craig, Lil Jason, people, Lil Man, they don't really know me like that. Only thing helping them, they hearing shit through the grapevine. Like I said, I'm running with niggas from New Jersey, New York, L.A., da-da-da. So niggas don't know how to shut their fucking mouth. So a little unit will go off. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull little sneaks and shit, be like, over here on the, I don't like to say on the DL. FTW gang got me saying that, but that used to be down low, used to mean on the quiet tip. Confidential, not necessarily all that. But they talking about now. A DL, it didn't mean that. It could have been that, but anybody I was around, we wasn't doing that. We were talking about, yo, keep that on the DL. You got a GAR, a Philly blunt or something with reef in it, and a whole big old probably quarter ounce or a big ass 20-cent piece of something. You got a pistol and all that, and you got the weed out. They gonna see that. Come searching now, niggas, 5 pistols. Nigga, tell them what somebody got ain't told you they got. So DL was like, keep it on the cool, on the smooth tip. Keep it low, out of sight, quiet. Stop acting all wild and stuff. No slap boxing, all this crazy shit, B-boy and all that. Stop that. Let the police just pass by. That was DL back then, right? So anyway, niggas wouldn't keep shit hush. When we as adults now, 18 and up now, doing felonies. Some of the people they telling is even juvies. They 17 and down. They going to juvenile probably for what? For see something, say something, no, they're not. That's a hero. If he do this enough, then he become a hero. Oh. Say what? Hey, we got some over here say, Jamil Mackey and them out there, but them, they the one who killed, that's the one who this, that's the one who that, huh? They doing that. So I kept the turnover rate. Corporate America say turnover rate. I hire one for the job, I gotta fire his ass after like that first job. We might have hung out a little bit. Cause that's how, I fill him out. Nigga skip school, he smoke reefer, probably snort cocaine or something like that. Might be smoking geek, drink alcohol, he like girls, We all want our drogue to stay fresh and all that. We all want a car one day soon. Most of us ain't had our first car. Tired of using mama car, auntie car, cousin car. So I'm thinking we on the same page, like a lot of people in Miami supposedly was, right? I don't even know yet that a lot of stuff they doing in Miami, like specifics. What they gonna call it on the law books, what they call it in the streets. I just know niggas hungry, niggas doing shit, right? That'll bring some money. So that right there, I'm gonna end it with that. When I moved here in 93, 94, come 94, niggas start saying keep a mark in the dog. Keep them in the blinds. Keep them in the blind, or like I like to say, keep them in the level laws. Keep them in the blinds, like the level law blinds. They peeking out the window at the project and shit, all in your business. Like the dude who knew to go to DJ in the beans and take that gun and them drugs off him. After allegedly, they claim they know who killed him. He went out there off a dead man body in the beans, Pokemon projects, and took a gun. This courtroom transcript. He said he got guns and drugs off the man the money and took it and kept it for himself. He was in the blinds. Right? So in 94, we started saying keep him in the blind. Keep a mark in the dog. It was hard to tell these dudes. That matter of fact, in 93, 94, in Miami, Dade County Jail, when I realized how many niggas in Miami was running their mouth. Cause I kept meeting people who in there for a charge were somebody and they clique spoke. Not only did they speak to the authorities, they didn't have to. Or do the fifth amendment, just right to remain silent. You ain't gotta state it, just do it. They gonna human traffic you to a jail, right? Booking, hold you, and you gonna go to arraignment. They gonna see what they wanna do. They might throw it out. How about that? Some niggas still in jail from 92, 90, 89, 88, because they simply didn't speak no evil. I'm gonna break it off on that, right? Talking about how the baddest of the boys who call themselves bad boys, right? Those who really on death row and really should be on death row, but was too G-code to end up there like G-Dep was for a minute. Special delivery. He said he was doing it for the kicks. He just wanted to know what it felt like. Because looking at them videos and movies and stuff, he started in video games and stuff. Donkey Kong smash Mario. He wanted to go smash somebody too. G-Dep. He finally came home. But those who really deserve to be on death row, who never got on death row, those who are on death row for a good reason, is what my rhymes represent. Those who evade, those Inquisition's agents of Rome, right? In the bench, in the bar association, right? The Vatican, Inquisition's agents of the Vatican, foreign colonial European military occupiers, right? In violation of international law, right? Those who do these things for a good reason, but know that probably because of the color of their skin or the economic status and whatnot, they won't get a fair shake and have to do way more time than they know they should. That's who I represent. That's who. So it ain't about being no bully, no badass, And of course, I never tried to pattern myself after the mob, La Cosa Nostra, because I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff's stupid to me. I'm gonna end it on this. I found out that as a mobster, if I want to get in the mob, I gotta tell them what I'm doing already. How much money I'm grossing, what I'm doing, and then the committee make the decision. Then I pay an X amount of money, boom, and then you gotta pay dues too. But now you got the mob, you in the mob, you got the mob protection, you might get mob jobs, blah, 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 and everybody under you, you know, you got your people that do different things, now they in that such and such family. I don't like that because you got to snitch off top. You got to tell on yourself off top. And a lot of them didn't go to jail, really get in big trouble till they got in La Cosa Nostra. And somebody in there, Sammy the Bull Gazzano, whatever his name is, people like that. Yeah, big hippopotamus mouth. Notice the hippopotamus mouth big, but there's some tooth be missing. I just shut that mouth up. Right? So, I kept a small circle like a dot on the period. Right? Mouth shut about that blood bleed flow like a girl's period. Moon cycle. But it's all day killer. I'm finna stop this here. Swamp Phone DJs will rise again. East Unit Productions. Check out my IG to get in my inbox to talk some bit. You can check it out too. I just put stuff up there, right? Check out the IG, my Facebook, where I share a lot of the stuff. Tyreek Bay, I said Lucatier, Chief Pontiac Rod, Jaguar. I ain't tuned in to Jaguar in a minute. Toriano Obashango Air, I need to look him up. Right, I just heard from Abdullah Talib at Mosque Bay because Taj was on there. I just saw Taj. I clicked on it and come to find out Crystals, Magnets, Pyramids, something like that. That's Abdullah Talib at Mosque Bay. That's his channel. So anyway, to the best of my knowledge. So anyway, I'm signing off. It's starting to rain, right? So I'm signing off, right?